Disney's one of those companies I've been slowly losing faith in. Doesn't help that my job specifically has me overanalyzing every new production they've made or are preparing to make, but boy, doesn't it feel like Disney hasn't had a win of their own for like a long time. The live-action Mulan remake was a disaster and wasn't helped with its shaky foundation of Aladdin and Lion King already. Frozen 2 was nowhere near the bar of the first film, and things like Maleficent were okay. I mean, do you still remember that film? And the successes Disney has had aren't really Disney. Marvel's doing great, Pixar is phenomenal, and I'm happy enough that I can binge Futurama or Lost or Milo Murphy's Law, but they're all just things Disney owns. It's not a part of their Disney core. The last grand Disney film I can remember is Moana, and that film was 5 years ago already. Are you kidding me? So imagine my delight when Raya and the Last Dragon finally got revealed as the new mainline, and here's the real highlight, original Disney movie is coming sometime soon. Finally! So 5 years on and just a little ahead of our previous take of has Disney lost their touch, can we now say Disney after all this time has regained their touch? Let's get into things. For a start, I didn't realize this film released the same day as the WandaVision finale, so this video is probably a tad more outdated than planned. So you likely know all the plot pieces of Raya and the Last Dragon. It has that classic Asian messaging of community and existing as one, family overall, and the plight of human separation and distrust. It's got your usual Uncle Iroh-esque smart man who realizes the benefits of unity, as well as your good guy, baddie, good bad, good guy, with an internal conflict of ideology. All atop a foundation that's a lot more action-based and intriguing for a world. Post-apocalyptic on non-earthly land masses, with leadership and heroism being assigned to people across lands and demographics. Even a toddler can be the protagonist if they want to be, I guess. And then there's the direction. There were a couple of times I audibly let out a whoa as the story would transition into a couple of different art styles, all trying to concisely tell some backstory or a theoretical planning. It's great! Not to mention the advances in camera technology, or at least the utilization of it. This feels like a modern Disney movie. That's the best way I can describe it. Sure, movies have looked great for years, but in comparison, something like Moana almost feels plastic and samely Disney, whilst this felt almost more real, with camera movements mimicking reality in conjunction with the phenomenal rendering quality. The entire film just comes off as a massive visual feast that's fantastic to actually see on something original for once. And yeah, I liked the story too. The more adventure-based world-saving story was fun, I liked the characters and circumstances the group ended up with, and for once, I like where it ended up. It didn't take some unexpected direction that threw me off the whole premise. Sure, I bet there's plenty of story gaps that could have made more sense, like why didn't the dad chief Benja also didn't dive off the bridge with Raya since the gem could protect them both, but that wouldn't allow for the story to go right. And actually, it's your classic inciting incident of losing a parent somewhat in a sacrifice. Really, the structure of this story only really goes on to show just how little we've needed to adapt story acts since like the times of the Greeks. It really just works timelessly, doesn't it? Yet I would call this movie far from generic. That being said, I feel I'm more invested in the story than the actual movie is. This is a big premise for the film to be handling, and I think the biggest flaw in this movie is the fact that it actually is a movie. There's so much interesting plot here. I mean, with the drones spreading across the land and petrifying humans into stone, you can see that the desert province of Tail were immediately wiped out with no protection, especially with their leader hoarding the gem for themselves for their own safety. That's a really dark and cool insinuation. But because of that, we barely see the land at all, not even a city, just a cave and a harbor. 18 minutes of screen time, including discovering Sisu the dragon in a shipwreck. But I guess they didn't want the reveal of Spine's decimation twice. Even still, this movie is rapidly paced. At each location we show up, tag a character along, see the baddie chief, and move out of there. Which makes sense, right? Traveling the entire world in a 2-hour runtime, of course there's gonna be cuts. And you'll especially feel that in a second time view. Huh? What's that? This movie's only an hour and a half? Then what the hell is with all this time crunching? Hold on, Disney, are you telling me that even though you could easily utilize another 30 minutes of world building on story progression to fit your massive idea, you still chose to cut off the movie's spread at like the knee? Why? I can understand being crushed in movie format, but why shrink the time even longer? from 2 hours to 1.5? Is this leaning more on the notion that kids just don't have the attention spans they used to? Then don't make such an impressive world. Is it something else? Cause this bothers me irrationally. Honestly, Raya and the Last Dragon deserves more of a TV series to properly explore each of the lands of this world. Severing it into this microwavable ready meal is an injustice to good storytelling, and I sure hope it's not executives underestimating kids. And you're this far in, so boost us with some multipliers and don't forget to subscribe. Here are my links, and check out #DazzVideos below the video, or join the Discord in the description as I hang out for an hour after uploads. But moving away from the story and its managerial failures, the context around this movie looks pretty great. Until I looked into things a little more, actually. I found it to be quite ironic that we just got the Mulan remake a few months back, and now there's another Asia-centric presentation and messaging, but it's a welcome upgrade to me, and was intriguing to see the different approaches to some of the same themings. Not to mention, it's a rarer type of film to see still. If you want a white man's journey, you can find that anywhere, so it's great to see more Asian representation, if not just from the fact that it gives us new content to consume. And with representation comes some progressive crew building. Let's look at that cast list. Hell yeah, everyone's Asian apart from Alan Tudyk? Ah, you got me again. I never knew. Why would I never would have picked that up. Giving starring roles to a more diverse set of people, or even better, correctly representing characters through their casting choices is fantastic. No one's a fan of whitewashing, you know? But there's more to it than just the cast. How's about that 5-star Disney crew? Wait, so you're telling me across the massively encapsulating umbrella that is Disney, the company that has swallowed like 70% of the industry, it feels like, can't put together a single meeting room of people who can best represent their story of non-Western representation? Like, sure, I guess it's not a massive detriment to having a handful of white guys direct and write this movie, considering it came out alright, but wouldn't this have felt a bit more genuine, or could at the very least push the industry forwards in progress and opportunity by actually allowing a non-white crew to create a non-white story? It's not like Disney doesn't have the backlog of employees for it. Across 8 big names credited for directing or writing, 2 are Asian American. Both are credited for the actual screenplay. I mean, it works fine enough, but this feels like it could have been a bigger opportunity than it actually was. But at least on a surface level, the representation of Asian characters on the big screen will be sure to influence and hype up young viewers, so at least that's a plus. And the only other thing I'll say about the cast is the celebrity choosings. I was getting a little concerned that more of the industry was going to follow Pixar's brief venture in Onward to bloat celebrity appearances to overshadow more naturally fitting cast roles, but I'm relieved to say that that's just not the case. There's always a token celebrity star role ever since Robin Williams in the original Aladdin, but keeping it as just one makes things feel a lot more subtle and nuanced. And this time, if you ignore Tudyk's obviously show-stealing performance, the celeb this time around was none other than Aquafina as Sisu. I knew her from Jumanji because I'm uncultured, but she was outstanding. Really a highlight of the whole movie, which is pretty astonishing considering I wasn't too ecstatic with the gangly, Jar Jar-esque approach of her character. She's also apparently set up to play as Scuttle in the new Little Mermaid remake. Disney really likes her, eh? Still, skeptical as I was, I liked how this aspect turned out. The only other dropping point I really have is the execution of the messaging. It gets a little muddied somewhere in there. It's about doing the right thing and trusting others even when they continue to betray you and distrust you. You just gotta keep getting back up, because as long as the world is literally seconds away from total destruction, we'll be able to work together to be one. Was that it? Was that the messaging? Like, being in Raya's position of trying to unite the world, how on earth are you possibly supposed to do that when time and time again it's shown to us that in this world everybody is just completely unfaithful? We are repeatedly shown backstabbings and betrayals, and it's only when everyone else is frozen and there's literally no other option that one person sticks together with the group. And politically, wouldn't everyone else continue to fight over the dragon gem now that it's revived? Or did it just disappear? Maybe they gave it to the dragons, but still, this world just seems politically toxic and impossible to work with. I get the idea, but it just doesn't work perfectly. But hey, I guess it represents reality a bit closer. From greed to deceit, ignorance and selfishness. Choosing to sit and do nothing and then being surprised that bad things happen? Whatever. At the end of the day, despite all I've mentioned, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I mean, I'd actually consider genuinely rewatching it. That's not a thing that comes naturally to me. But I'm sure the flaws would only pick up more steam on multiple watches, if not literally pick up more steam. Funny now how both Moana and Raya now have QWERTY water physics, eh? Is that the new formula for a Disney princess checklist? Whatever the case, I'm just left wanting more. A TV show to reveal more of the different regions, even comics of characters we see so little of. Or heck, just an extended cut that uses the available extra 30 seconds that was just chucked away. While Disney certainly doesn't look quite so dire compared to the last 5 years of productions, I can't say that this is the new golden standard. There are simply a lot of stumblings made throughout this movie that make it not quite a new golden age in my opinion, but at least it's not a dumpster fire of the past. The premise is great, performance immaculate, and it's a relief to see something new for a change, but it was also mismanaged, not used to its full potential, with a crew that seems less progressive than it could have been, considering Disney is practically the driver of the whole industry right now. The story would make a great play, and I'm sure I'll watch it again, but while Disney hasn't maybe completely lost their touch, it's tricky to say they're the best of the best again, because they've certainly made some stumbles on this oh-so-rare original goodness. At least there's someone on the right track. Now to wait another 5 years and slog through all those remakes and whatever else Disney wants to recycle. My name's been Dazz. You didn't really care. In 7 days we'll cover another new movie that's shaken the internet. You know what it is. And I'll see you in a bit.